14 years ago, I uploaded a video to YouTube, the one that's on behind me, and that video was of me expressing how I felt about living with pain, and pain was caused by having ankylosing spondylitis. I watched the video the other day, and it's interesting to see where I was and where I am now, and I thought it would just be a nice idea to give an update, giving it its 14 years, and so much has changed since then. I don't feel that I'm living in pain every day, because I'm not, and so much of the reason why is through the changes that I've made, and very fortunate to have a good link with a rheumatologist. I've for the last 10 years, I think 11 actually, I've been on Humira, which is anti-TNF treatment, and I inject myself once every 2 weeks. There have been discussions where I'm actually going to extend the period between injections because I'm doing so well. Having watched that video, it made me realise that throughout my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, the majority of my 20s, I was in pain, and that impacted so much about how I felt about myself, and also about just moving around the world in a I don't know, being in pain. It seems like such a long time ago, through when I would wake up in pain, I'd go to sleep in pain. That doesn't occur anymore. I can, when I go to sleep, I can choose whether or not I want to lie on my front or my back. That wasn't a choice I had in my 20s. To move around in bed would be so difficult, it's difficult to pin exactly when the changes occurred and what was the real thing that changed all that. Yes, having the injections, but I think what has helped massively is exercising, and that is cycling. I don't do any heavy impact stuff, so I don't jog, but I do a lot of cycling. Fortunately, I commute to work, and that is a 16-mile round trip. 3 times a week I do that, so I keep myself active through that. Additionally, I utilise clubs and gyms. I have done, well, I think, let's have a look. I've done yoga. I did that for about 1.5 years. I did Tai Chi for about half a year, Pilates for about 1.5 years. I've had numerous appointments with like one-to-one trainers, giving me just ideas, and I've just cherry-picked all the stuff that I like and just created what I feel is right for me. Tai Chi was really good fun. I enjoyed that. Yoga was a big part of my life for a while, especially for the breathing, because when watching that video back, I realised how much of my life was consumed with sort of anxiety. But when you're in pain, that's you know, you're going to be anxious, because it's not nice. But moving on, I also think and feel that spending time stretching. When I first started going to the gym, I'd do a little bit of cardio, and then I would sit on the floor on the mats. And one of my bigger things was to be able to lie down and bring my head to the mat and have my shoulders on the mat. So I'm lying flat down and not having this arch stoop, and I need to correct my posture throughout the day actually. But it took a long time to do that, and to focus on core strength, because I realised, I think, living for a long period of time with it being in pain and having a stooped posture, it just led to weak core muscles, because I wasn't pushing myself to exercise areas of my body that probably would benefit. Having weak glutes, which I've now sort of been doing kettlebell sessions and activities. That's really helped, which then has made my hamstrings loosened because they were really tight, which has stretching my hamstrings has actually impacted. My knees don't hurt anymore, and so yeah, there's like so much to do with exercise, which has had so many benefits about having ankylosing spondylitis. Lucky that I've got a great little support network around me of people that care for me, and that is a big help, obviously. And yeah, it was just really interesting to see the video, and wanted to put hopefully a positive spin on what has been 14 years. I don't feel like, although my neck and posture is still, I can still feel it, and when I move my head it crinks and cranks and makes awful noises, but I'm not in pain. That was the big thing for me growing up in my late teens and my 20s, is just the extent of the physical internal pain due to the inflammation, which impacted various parts of my body internally. My eyes, having a period of time when my eyes were experiencing inflammation was just awful. And then other things, perhaps maybe inflammation had impacted me and I didn't really know it, whether or not there was any correlation between the periods of inflammation in my body and really bizarre states of just feeling of self-worth, really. But maybe that was just part of the impact of being in pain and how it made me feel weak. Anyway, I've moved on just leaps and bounds, really, and I'm just cracking on with my day-to-day, and it's really good, really positive. And so I just wanted to give you that update if there's any people that have commented on my previous videos are interested. Okay, thank you.